by your people.
Yeah, TikTok. Well, TikTok now is owned by China,
Yeah.
and it's your data is being sold. So
Mhm.
uh, it's going to be American owned, American run. It's going to be on American soil. We're going to house the data on American soil and American owned uh, data cloud storage. Just for having the app, you're going to be able to get paid. So you're going to own your data and be able to monetize it. So whether you make content or not, if you have the app on your phone, you'll be able to start earning money just for having that. And let's face it, right now, they are selling your data anyway, and you're giving it to them for free. Uh, whether that's Candy Crush or Angry Birds or whatever app you're using, you're giving that away for free. And
Mhm.
we're saying if you're going to be on our app and use our app, then you get paid. You now own your data. You control your data. If you want to opt out, that's fine. Opt out.
Now, one of our biggest concerns is censorship. There's a lot of censorship on this app, and some warranted, a lot not. And so, what is there any sort of plan to curb that or rework that, or in terms of the community guidelines? And because it just seems to get stricter and stricter and stricter, especially in one direction. He freeze.
I think he froze. Yeah, he froze. There he goes.
Okay, hold on. Are we here?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Oh, so censorship, guys. The censorship is 100% First Amendment. You have the right. You have the freedom of speech. We're Americans. That's our God-given right granted to us in the Constitution. It's the First Amendment for a reason. So you'll be able to not have to say pew pew anymore or banana or all of these silly words. You're going to have a freedom of speech on this app, and you're going to be just fine. It's going to be a great place, and I think it's going to be the first time that you'll ever have a freedom of speech. So it's going to be very odd for some people to actually be able to say things, and some people just need to learn how to keep scrolling. So uh, we call it digital terrorism. They come in the comments and then they comment, trying to get the video taken down, try to gain whatever clicks they can get. They're nasty, evil people, and they come from the right and the left. If you're on a political channel, it doesn't matter which side. It seems like I've talked to the left, and they say the same thing in bots. So you're going to be able to have a freedom of speech. You're going to be able to use your freedom of speech, and you also have the freedom to keep scrolling if you don't like something. And we see it all the time in the comments as they scroll by. Those keyboard warriors, they're 300 pounds. You know who they are. They sit in their mom's basement. They're eating a jelly-filled donut, and they're just this fat slob. Just da, 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 da. We know exactly who they are. We see them. We ignore them, but they have a freedom of speech, and they can use that, or they can keep scrolling. So that's it. We know who they are.
Facts. And so you're literally saying that the days of mass reporting could be over?
Yeah. So the bot accounts are going to go away. Everyone will be verified, whether they're on a free account or they're on a paid account. It won't matter. You will be verified. The verification process will be free for everybody. This will eliminate the bots. You can have several accounts, but you have to be verified. Each account has to be verified by a human being. No more AI run accounts. There's going to be several things on the back end here that we're working on with Adelaide, our AI company, to make sure that bots can no longer run those accounts. So you can't direct your AI or your bot accounts to do certain things, and that's what kind of happens here on those bot accounts. So that won't happen anymore, and it's gonna be great. You're gonna still get bad comments or bad videos. It's gonna happen. It's
Right.
you know how it goes. This is social media, and it's the internet. People just don't realize the internet's forever, so they make mistakes, I guess.
Cool. Now, I don't know how it works on the back end, like what videos are the chosen ones and which ones aren't. But at the very least, if you're a content creator with 188,000 followers, at least 188,000 people should see your content. So will there be any changes to the algorithm and how that works, and
No,
shadow banning?
yeah, so shadow banana. We don't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
See, we have to be protected here. So
Yeah.
the shadow, when you restriction, suppression, those things are all going to go away. The algorithm will change in those regards. And is what we found is when you go live, it's not notifying all of your followers for an hour, up to an hour is what we found. So we think that when you go live, that notification should at least go out to people who have recently interacted with you in the past 24 hours at minimum. If not all of your followers, because that's truly important. So when we went live on here, if everyone who had interacted with your account and was following you in the past 24 hours had got a notification, they'd be like, oh, Americans on, I got to get over there. I got to see what's going on. And they would start interacting more rather than an hour later after the live has ended. They get it. So that's an important aspect, but I think protecting your freedom of speech and making sure that the algorithm in your videos are faced on the For You page and getting in front of new audiences is important. So if you're on a political channel, I think is everyone here political? Okay, so if you're doing politics, your content is pushed out to other political people interested in politics or have engaged, whether it's left or right politics, it doesn't matter. They should see your content. If you make a fishing video, then that should go out to people who are interested in the outdoors and fishing, and it just kind of makes sense to have an algorithm that works that way. So we're going to be okay, and it's going to be a great thing. I think your following is going to go up. You're going to like the changes here.
Awesome. All right, LJ, I yield my time.
All right. SC's the floor is yours.
How are you, Mr. Rasner?
Good. How are you?
Good. My name is Esther. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. My apologies. I jumped on a little too late. So I definitely went ahead and asked my followers a few questions that they wanted to be asked on their behalf. I see that censorship was already addressed. Part of the censorship, really, not to backtrack too much here, what about stuff like propaganda? I've seen TikTok, and it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum anyone is on, but I've seen TikTok kind of go into a more, almost like they have an agenda when it comes to certain world events. So there are certain videos that will be construed as, this is, like you said, shadow banana, but the other side is going to continue to be pushed. Specifically, what I'm talking about is the Free Palestine movement. I saw personally on TikTok just a lot of anti-Semitism, a lot of hatred. It was completely not flagged. Nobody said anything about it. And that's a big concern because TikTok is a very, very huge platform. And it obviously caused the distress of what's going on today. And to whoever's listening, like I said, it doesn't matter what side of the politics you're on. We don't have room for hate to that extent on these platforms. So what is the new TikTok going to do to address that?
Well, it's going to put up a community note. So if it's actual hateful anti-Semitic rhetoric, then a community note will pop up. And what we see with that, at least on what we've seen in the studies on that, is if something's, usually people just scroll past it because they actually have to click through to get to the content. So we are not going to restrict someone's freedom of speech because they still have a freedom of speech. And as long as it's protected speech, they have a right to be there. But we can put a community note up saying, hey, this is violent hate speech. This is anti-Semitic speech. This is, a lot of different things we can put out there. So that was one of the things on the live last night. They were saying, what if someone says the N-word, which I was like, oh my God. So a community note pops up and says, hey, there's hate speech in this. And is what we find is very few people actually click through to watch the video, and they end up just keep scrolling. Because, I bet you 8 or 9 out of 10 Americans are like, don't even want to see this. It's a very, very small minority of people who are like, yeah, let's click through. So we're not going to restrict anyone's freedom of speech. And I think that's really important to stick true to that. But we can community note them. And I think it's not even going to be 8 or 9. It's going to be a very, very small number of people that actually click through to watch this. And this. Just think about your content in the short form. That first 3 to 5 seconds is the most important. And if it's a black screen that pops up with a small button that you have to click through to that says this is graphic, this is hate speech, this is whatever, the odds of someone actually going through the extra steps to watch your content is little, and your account will just automatically start shrinking. We don't even have to restrict them because they'll end up just restricting themselves. I don't think I actually have to do it.
Now, second question I had, what is your appeal process going to look like? Right now, TikTok has a very strange appeal process. It almost seems like if the person on the other side feels like being a nice person, then maybe it's going to get restored. If the person on the other side's just decided that they want to make your life a living hell, then they go ahead and they, just, oh, your appeal wasn't put through. They don't explain why. They sometimes will go ahead and demonetize that video. And for me personally speaking, to tie it into my next question, it would be, is there going to be a more transparent process for content creators that are part of the rewards program? Specifically saying, like for me personally, there was times where I was supposed to get a large payout. And then the day before, just TikTok decided, hey, we're going to disqualify your highest earning videos and not tell you why. We're just going to tell you they violated guidelines, and it's robbery, but there's nothing I can do about it. So what is going to be TikTok's, policy on that going forward? And is it going to be more transparent?
Yeah. So one, you're going to be able to troubleshoot. Let's just say something happens in your account, or you're on a live, or you make a video, or you get that digital terrorism, those comments coming in trying to suppress or restrict your account. So the AI will pick up on what's happening. They'll see a pattern. It will recognize these things, and those fail-safe switches will trigger, and your account will be okay. But let's say something happens and the AI fails you in that process. We want you to be able to troubleshoot through this to recover your video and make sure that your account is safe. And if you can't get the answer that you want, then we're going to have a way that you call in an 800 number to talk to an actual English speaking American. It's been a long
It's okay.
long time. It's been a long time we've been here.
We'll give you that one.
You're going to speak with an actual English speaking American in America at one of our great call centers. And we're setting up the infrastructure for this customer support service center, and you'll be able to get those videos back. So if the thing with AI is there are no emotions, there's no human touch. So hopefully that works. But in the event that it doesn't, you speak to someone and everything's fine. So you'll be able to get that back. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So for accounts that were banned, like for stupid reasons, will there be a retroactive process for that?
Yeah. So I don't know if your content is still there and your following is there, but the usernames are certainly there. So there will be an application process, and whatever content, following, and username that still exists when we get the algorithm in this company, we'll be able to get back to you. But you'll have to go through an application process because we want to make sure that AJ gets AJ's accounts back, and AJ isn't applying for Reid's accounts that were taken away. We want to make sure that the actual owner of that property, that intellectual property, because you made these videos and this is yours, are actually go back to the owner, you. So if you have those accounts out there, that'll come back to you.
No, it's a slippery slope with, free speech, expression. So will that be a gateway for corn or anything like that slipping through, like on X?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask that, especially because of what I see happening on Twitter. Is that going to be a loophole that you guys are going to kind of?
Yeah, we're going to take care of that. We don't believe that should be on the app. And I want to be very clear. This is going to be an 18 and up app. It's going to be a public forum where you make great content, amazing content that is pushed out to people. We want to be able to have cordial conversations and bring people back together. We're very divided in this country. And I still think, at least me, and I'm a Trump supporting Republican here, I still believe that my neighbors are good people regardless of who they are and how they voted. And I still want to be able to go out and mow my lawn and talk to them on the front porch and say, hey, neighbor, how's it going? How was your day at work? And I think we just have to get, listen, freedom of speech will certainly cure a lot, because people, I think, will come in here and they'll start talking and they'll realize, hey, we were friends a few years ago. What the heck happened? And you guys will have these conversations, hopefully. The keyboard warriors, you guys just ignore them. Everything's going to be okay. And you're gonna make real relationships with people all over the country, all over the world, hopefully, that have a different view of the world and a different view of politics. But this is how you move the needle forward in life. This is how you do amazing things. This is how you do big things. This is truly how you make it happen. So free speech, I like to think of it as if you go on a cruise ship. Has anyone been on a cruise? Once you get out into international water, 18 and up can go into the bar area. And usually those 18-year-olds, and I'm in my 40s, so 18-year-olds, I'm like, I'm just not 18 anymore, so I just stay away. It's like, it's like I don't like the loud music. They talk. I don't know. It's just I'm in a different era of my life. But you go on a cruise, and they come in the bar and they're acting like a grown adult because they're given access to something that they never had. So I think when we get access to an unfettered freedom of speech, it's almost going to self-regulate at a point. It'll just the bell curve has to happen. So give it a minute. We can make this happen. Let's stick together. But I think when we have the right to free speech, and not all speech is protected speech. So let's really think about this. But as long as it's protected speech, it stays. And I think it's really important.
Going to be like a fact checker kind of situation on TikTok?
No, we're going to have community notes, and it'll be run through AI. So they're like, what if I go out and start a blog, or my channel says that's untrue? Are you just going to cite that? No, community notes will pop up with verified, credible sources saying this is untrue, and this is why, and this is where the truth is. But AI will do it because there's no human element to it. There's no bias there. It's just is what it is. Where if we have human beings out there, then you get emotion, you get political fodder, whether that's right or left, happening. Mm-hmm. AI has zero room for error, and it stays unbiased. And if you say something, you say something, and it gets community noted. It gets community noted. I like that. That's just AI has zero feelings for you, and that's a good thing.
Now, when it comes to the other buyers, is the only stipulation here of who's going to outbid who financial, or is there someone that's making the decision of like, we think that you would be the responsible individual here to purchase TikTok?
Well, President Trump has the ultimate decision.
So
but our offer is the only offer that buys U.S. TikTok, so American TikTok and the algorithm. Everyone else's offer is just U.S. TikTok or American TikTok. And they want to license the algorithm back from China, so nothing actually changes. China
so your offer is to buy ByteDance's algorithm?
The American portion of the algorithm, correct?
Got it. Okay.
And that's so the Supreme Court, the United States Congress, and the last the Congress and President Biden signed the legislation. The Supreme Court upheld it and said, nope, 100% in a 9-0 vote. This is law. The company has to sell, ByteDance has to sell, and the algorithm has to be sold, and China can't have it anymore. So, I mean, they have a choice of either they can own 20% of American TikTok. So ByteDance can own 20%. So this is in the law. They can own 20% of Reid Rasner's American-owned TikTok, and we get the algorithm, or they can have nothing, and it goes away. Because it'll go dark in America, and without America and the Americans on this app, it's really just not a great place. And their global company will just collapse anyway. So I think they have to make a big decision. So ByteDance has to have China, the CCP's permission, and whoever gets it in America has to have the executive office's permission, which is President Trump right now. Our offer is the greatest offer because we're buying the company and the algorithm, and we think this is a fair offer, nearly $50 billion, so $47.45 billion. But our offer is also the only offer, and there are 4 on the table right now being considered. It was 3, now there's 4. So there's 4 offers on the table. Ours is the only one that is following the letter of the law to the T, and we're talking with regulators. We're trying to be as transparent with the American public. This is why we're having this large presence coming out on creators' channels and doing these lives. This is really important to us that you all understand what's happening and become part of this process just as much as we are while we deal with the CCP and while we deal with President Trump and we deal with the United States Congress, both the House and the Senate regulatory bodies. We think that you all need to know what's happening and why this is happening. And we a lot of prayers. I mean, we're really trying. We're pushing hard. It's a lot of work, and we're getting there.
Okay. What is going to be your policy on? Let's say we discussed how people are. Let's say free speech is protected, but let's say they go ahead and they start violating guidelines. They're posting hate speech, even maybe violent videos, whatever the case may be. How does that process look like? You do take them down?
Is it protected speech or
no? Let's say this is a person posting bad things. So can they ever reopen an account or make a new one?
Yeah, they'll make a new account. So If it's not protected, let's just say you say something nefarious about the president, and we all know what that could be, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's say something is said. Your account the video is going to have to come down because that's not protected speech, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot stop what happens after that. And I would assume the Secret Service or the FBI might come to your house and say, hey, and I didn't send them. This has nothing to do with me. This was you broke the law because that's actually illegal. And then they're going to talk to you or do something. I don't know what they're going to do. Probably talk to you for the first time, but maybe it's a repeating thing that's happening. I don't know. But the video comes down at minimum. I think that's going to happen. So it's not protected speech. If it's just getting community noted over and over and over again, and someone's channel is just community notes, I think anyone with a single brain cell will look at that and go, oh, this is just propaganda. This is just what a trashy channel. Like, no one's going to follow that. They'll have zero following. They'll get 0 views, 0 engagement. I think it'll take care of itself, and it'll be a great process.
But when you say take care of itself, even though they get community noted, what if this is a person that's genuinely, forget about saying something nefarious about the president. What if they're targeting children on the app or someone underage, or they're posting content that is inappropriate? Is there going to be some kind of process to reprimand that person, remove it from the app, deplatform them, like anything? What does that look like? What's the extreme here? Because if there's no consequence, then they're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, well, they'll have 0 engagement, so it won't matter. So they're creating their own.
So they get suppressed.
No, there is no suppression. Listen, is it Esty or Esther?
Yeah,
I've heard it
whatever
twice.
you want.
No, not
I
whatever
go by
I
both.
want.
No, my God-given name is Esther, but it's Esty
Okay.
on here.
Children will not be on this app. So you're going to be 18 and older to be on this side of the app. We'll have our own kids TikTok. So if you're going through and seeing community note after community note after community note, and it's Reid's page that's always doing this, you're not going to watch those videos. I'm not suppressing anything. Viewers just aren't going to engage. And at the end of the day, this is social media, and there's a social aspect to this. So they will have 0 engagement. I don't understand. They won't have a following. No one's going to see their stuff because they're not going to sit there and click through the community notes to get to the video content. There are prank channels on YouTube, and I see them in the stories, and they do pranks. And then they have I'm trying to think what they call it, but they throw like a tennis ball at their friend and they're standing against fence. We did this growing up. We're boys. I don't know if you did this, girls, but we would all line up against the fence, and whoever lost whatever game it was, you got pelted with a tennis ball or something. And it's just a boy thing. I don't know. Maybe this is growing up in the 80s was like. Maybe it's still today. It is because I see the videos.
Got you. Yeah, we get it.
So some people might say that's violent and that's offensive, but that's not violent, and I don't think that's offensive. But I'm not the arbiter of truth either. But it's not restricted speech. If you're looking at actual, I can't remember what you called it. I can't say the word. Sexual activity. That's not going to be on the app. It doesn't belong here, and it's just not part of this app. And it's not that we're suppressing it or restricting it. It's just that it just doesn't belong here. And I think there are other apps that cater to that specific type of social media, we could say. And there's a place on the internet for that, but it's just not part of our mission statement with TikTok. But if you're doing things just because someone feels like it's violent, but it's not restricted in any way, or it is.
What about
protected.
doxing someone? I mean, that's not violent, but it's harmful to the person. If someone's going on my page, for example, and writing my address, just publicly going, just because they don't like me, I'm targeted. Often I make fun of the left. You know what I mean? So I get all kinds of stuff, and there will be people that are in the comment section putting down my address, revealing personal information. That's unfortunately not illegal yet. So when I ask that, that's what I mean. Like, what happens to those people? Is there a kind of consequence for the ones that?
There's not going to be a consequence, but I don't believe anyone should be doxxed, and I think you should work really hard to elect really great people to make laws to protect you. And I'm not a legislator, and I'm not a lawmaker. But I think we all are Americans, and we all vote, and I think we can all lobby our lawmakers and tell them what's going on and be like, here's the problem we're having. In fact, next week, I'm actually going to go testify at a congressional subcommittee where I get to talk to them about certain things. And I think any American can go do that, even at the state level, to make stuff like that illegal, but I'm not the lawmaker, and I'm sorry that's happening. It is terrible. It's happened to me, and I understand, and we don't like it. But it's just not illegal right now. At least in my state, it's not, and maybe in some states it is illegal. I don't know. I don't know actually in certain states if it is or not, but we'll find out. And if it is illegal and breaks the law, then it's not legal and protected speech.
Got it.
But I think we can live in a bunch of hypotheticals. And the amount of doxing, I mean, I realize it happens. It's happened to me. And I get weirdos out by my house.
It becomes very mob-like on this platform specifically. That's why I bring that up. It becomes really scary really quickly, and it for some reason travels at the speed of light a lot quicker on TikTok than it would on any other app. And sometimes the damage is just done before anyone can do anything.
Listen, I already saw them in your comments, and I already saw it happening to me in the comments. So I already get what's going on. And my security team, thankfully I have one, but is monitoring everything for me on my end. I'm not saying you need a security team. I'm saying that these are the actual things that I live with too, and I understand where you're coming from. It's not illegal in my state right now, and it's not illegal federally right now. But I can tell you, when I talk at my subcommittee meeting, I will certainly probably talk about something similar to this, because that's why I'll be there. And I've thought through this. But I think it's protected. I mean, I don't know. I know we don't like it, and I live with it daily too.
AJ?
Oh. So can we talk money for a little bit? Like these amazing coins that are popping up here.
Oh, I had something. Sorry, I was trying to read comments. So when you collect gifts, you'll just get your gifts. So I know they keep saying 50 and 60% of the gifts is what they keep or you get. I can't remember. So listen, this is a big news. So just this week, Wyoming stablecoin was the first government-backed stablecoin in America. This is actually exciting and very relevant to all of you who make money on this. Excuse me. So Wyoming has its own stable coin, and we're going to use it on the new TikTok. So it's $1 for one coin, and it's run through the blockchain, and it's backed by United States Treasuries to 102%. And the way Wyoming designed the law and why we looked so strongly at this, not because it's just the first stable coin out there, but also because all of your constitutional protections at the federal level will be protected in this stable coin, meaning regulators and lawmakers can't come in and seize your account or tell us to restrict them in any way. And your data and your privacy will be held at the strictest standards possible through Adelaide's AI technology. And what will happen is when you buy coins, so we go in and we buy 500 coins, one coin, $1, and we're giving coins away as gifts. You're going to keep 100% of that. We don't have any interest in keeping part of your gifts or anything. The TikTok shop, we're going to run all the transactions through the Wyoming stable token, so it's instant transactions happening. There's going to be really great stuff happening, and they announced their support, and it's going to be great. So it gets rid of traditional banking. It's going to put another aspect into TikTok, which will make it even greater and a greater impact, especially for these Midwest and Mountain West states, which was a real driving force behind us making the offer and creating a fourth legacy industry in these states to stabilize these economies. It's very important to us that this come to fruition, and we have no interest in the actual collecting of your coins. We just want to make sure that you're being able to monetize. We're going to data share in the ad spend with you, so when ads pop up, you'll get a portion of that. And we want to make sure we take as many users from the Meta platforms and the Google and the YouTube and bring them over here and make this a one-stop shop for everyone. And even I think Jeff Bezos isn't going to be too happy, because with our TikTok shop and what's happening over there and how we can run live auctions similar to WhatsApp, there's going to be some really amazing things happening as we continue to roll this out and keep developing this. But the coins will be Wyoming stable coins right now because they've wanted to partner with us, and they've announced their support, and we're excited for that. They have the right protections. They have the right mindset. They're like-minded American first patriots running that commission. and we think it's going to be a really great place for everyone for secure transactions. So it'll be exciting.
Cool. And what about the actual content, like our videos? How will the monetization work with that?
It's going to change a little bit. So you can start monetizing, and we're looking at similar platform, similar guidelines like YouTube, where you have 1,000 followers and so much watch time rather than 10,000 followers. We're trying to lower that standard so you can get on here, and we want people on this app, in this app, creating great content, being able to monetize those videos, so we can bring in more advertisers and truly make something special. So you'll be able to monetize your videos quicker, sooner. And again, you're going to profit share in that because your data is what drives not only the algorithm, but also the ads and the TikTok shop and everything. So you'll control your data and be able to profit share in that and monetize your videos. And the more content you create, obviously, the greater profit share you'll have. If you just have the app on your phone, you don't make content, but you like to watch fun videos, you'll get a smaller profit share. And that's okay too. Or you can say, I don't want any profit share, don't use my data, and we're okay with that too. But we want to take as much market away from the other social media companies as possible and make this a one-stop shop TikTok. Everyone come here, everyone use this. You make your amazing short form and long form content. You can monetize it quicker. You can use the TikTok shop to not only sell, but also buy. We transact through the Wyoming stable token. We have gifts and coins during our live shows. There's so many great things happening. I think it's going to be a very, very great place. That's going to, I think Mark Zuckerberg's in trouble. I think he knows it too because, well, we've had conversations, but it's exciting.
So it's good that you're competing with obviously Meta and YouTube. What is it? Can you get into specifics of what you think that's going to look like? One specific thing I want to touch up on is like the rate per minute. So YouTube has this, they pay out with rate per minute. And I noticed that number, the more engagement you have and the more of a higher quality video it is, that rate actually will go up. So you're getting actually paid more. On TikTok, it's like the full blown opposite. The rate per minute will be like a decent amount, whatever, let's say a reasonable amount. And the more engagement that video gets, when I'm checking the data analytics, it's like, oh, we decided to make this 20 cents less, 25 cents less, 30 cents less, 50 cents less. Like, it's like the more. So I want to understand, and obviously this is not you, but is TikTok going to basically essentially stop punishing people for creating on its app? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like the better you're doing, the more it's like it's worse than the IRS. Like they're just like, oh, well, we're just going to take more away, and we're going to take more away. So there hasn't been much of an incentive because of those very unfair CCP policies, okay? And I want to just ask, like, just full-blown transparency, if your model is going to look more or less like the other guys, maybe you're going to compete in some way, maybe giving us a little more than they do, I'm not sure, but I wanted to know what your transparency is on that aspect.
So competition is good. I'm very competitive and I like to win. And I want to dominate in the space. So I didn't come up with a large number and a lot of money accidentally. I want to take as much market share from YouTube and Meta platforms as I possibly can on this app, and I want to dominate in this space. So I think you making amazing content that gets a ton of engagement should be rewarded. Where if we have someone on there just tying their shoes and it's a 30, I mean, maybe it gets a bunch of clicks. I don't know what would be. I'm trying to think of something terribly boring, but if you're tying your shoes, I think that would be boring. But maybe I'm wrong, and there's some like people that love.
There's a market for everything on here, Mr. Rasner. I promise you that much right now.
Like I don't know.
I think one of the guys that made the most money last year was just rolling down glass bottles with marbles inside of it filled with paint, and we can't look away. We just can't look away, and God bless that creator.
All right. Well, okay. So if it gets engagement and it's amazing, then congratulations, you've went viral. I guess just what an amazing thing you've done. As stupid as it is, I guess. But if you're making terrible videos and you know what, this is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and who am I to say what is or isn't creative? All of you on this app are the judges of that ultimately. If you're making content that doesn't get engagement, isn't shared, doesn't have likes, and just sucks, it's probably not going to make as much money as something amazing like a glass jar rolling in with paintballs in it. I don't even. I'm gonna go Google this when I'm done.
Oh,
So,
it's a must.
but I don't know if you find that viral moment. I guess stick to it and just keep making that video over and over and over again.
And it's still going to be based on watch history, correct? Like the longer people are watching it, the more it's going to get pushed out to a bigger audience. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. So just like this live, we have 129,000 likes, 300 people, and we're kind of stalled out. Oh, see, it's going up because I'm talking about it now. But we're sharing the video, we're liking the video. We got people in here commenting. We had some haters in here. Whatever. I mean, they're giving us engagement. This is why we thrive. This is how we survive. More people get to come in and engage with Reid and AJ and Esty and American because they're in our comments trashing us. I don't know, doing whatever they're doing from their keyboards and their basements. Just you get it. This is
We're used
great
to it. I mean, we thrive off.
Oh, you get it. But this is. I mean, this is who they are. They're just this. You get it. It's just they're giving us the engagement that we're here for. They're pushing us out on the For You page. That's how the algorithm works. Competition is good. I will. I'm very competitive, and this is how I.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah. I got your answer. Thank you.
All right. So I've let them have a little bit of fun. And it's funny because people are asking me to ask questions that I kind of sort of spoke with your sales manager with on the phone. And I have those answers, but we'll give them their answers here. One of the questions is there a plan to maximize exposure of content to their already existing followers to offset the shadow banning, which you kind of sort of already addressed? Like, what does it look like potentially? Because I know with my background, I understand how algorithms work and stuff, but older content actually being pushed out, whereas like now you have to repost. Would we be able to have a feature to like push that older content out after a certain amount of time without actually having to repost it and make a whole new video? Or is this just maybe just simply just repost?
Well, as far as older, I mean, your videos go out to your following. And so from my understanding of the algorithm is if I've not followed you yet, but I come across your videos and I like what I'm watching and I follow you, more of your videos, older and newer alike, will start appearing in my feed. So it's not that it's pushing it out, it's that you've gotten new viewers. And as I engage in it and I like her and I engage with that, my followers, because I saw your stuff, and they're interested in similar things I am, the algorithm will start to network and coordinate, and my followers will see it, and then someone and it'll go until the momentum is broken. I'm trying to explain this in a way. So once the momentum stops, the algorithm has exhausted that creative that you've made, and it's not suppressing it. It's just stopped pushing it out until Esty comes along and sees your video and is like, oh, I kind of like that. That's fun. I'll follow that. Then her followers. So it's not that it's stopped. It just stopped on my end. And then I'm moving along and I see one of your followers and you're seeing my followers. And so this is how the algorithm works. But the creative gets exhausted in one person's network. And it's not that it stops being pushed out. It's that it's literally been seen throughout that network of people. And it's not going to just continue to reappear from 2 years ago. And everyone's okay. So there's a benefit, I think, on all social media to repost certain content, especially video content, as it becomes relevant. And I see this in my industry when we talk about finance. This is a brand new one. So if I was around at McKinley's era, I could have been posting about tariffs because he was the tariff king back then. And then we elected President Trump, and we have a new tariff king. But had I had internet and was even alive back in McKinley's time, and I was posting about tariffs, I could have went and reposted those videos from back then today because they're relevant. And then I could have said, and then I could have actually done like a diptych where it's like, this was then, this is now. And this is what's different compared to then. But really the economy and the economics of tariffs then are the same now. It's just a lot more zeros behind them.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm trying to say? So we can, as things become relevant.
Relevancy.
Yeah. So, I mean, as in 4 years, when we begin to go into a new election cycle, it might be interesting for us to remind America what happened from 2020 to 2024. I don't know. Okay, so you might have to repost an old video and be like, look at this. And don't forget about this. This was Kamala. I mean, if Kamala's going to run, I mean, don't forget America. So you might want to repost an old video to be like, remember this?
Yeah.
She was the border czar, and we had 20 billion crossings. Don't forget America.
Yeah.
So you might want to repost something that becomes relevant again, and then make a new video to couple with it, and complement it, saying, "And here we are today. Are we really going to go down this dark path again, America?" I mean, these are questions that, I mean, yeah, I think it's relevant.
I'm not
It's
running
past.
in 2028. I'm not doing it again.
Oh, boy. Have you read that? Oh my gosh, isn't it exhausting? Can you imagine what this is going to be like?
Goodness.
Oh my god!
I love your
There's
impressions.
there's so many rumors out there. Oh,
Yeah,
you
so-
had an impressions channel?
No,
Oh,
you should go.
Oh,
Reid,
I'm
you
the
would.
Kamala.
She
Sure.
is the Kamala. Go watch her page. You will love it.
oh, you are the Kamala.
Yeah. She.
Let's
I'm
hear the laugh.
conservative
Give us a
Kamala.
laugh. Can you
Mr.
do the
Rasner,
laugh?
look, I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in a middle class
Oh
family.
my god!
Right?
Oh my god! There's a laugh. Get out of here! Oh my god! No, I'm gonna have nightmares for like a week. Oh my god!
So on to a little bit more of a into the thick of it questions, because what I do here on my content is I deal with laws, and I understand that might not be your expertise, but if you're working with money, you know laws, at least around the financial sector of things. We see Anna Paulina Luna, I think is her name, from the representative from from Florida. She's pushing to have either the entirety or parts of the Patriot/USA Act, because the Patriot Act sunsetted, repealed, because that allowed for certain things to be happening in this country and the stifling of free speech. But what really destroyed social media was the implementation of Section 230. How do you feel about President Trump going in and amending Section 230? Personally, I want him to remove it, but we all can't get our way. But him amending it for the Decency Act inside of the Section 230 to reflect 1A. Like, if that question's beyond you, I understand, but I think you can field it.
Well, I would be in the opinion, just get rid of Section 220 and let independent journalists be independent journalists. That's where I stand politically.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a regulator. I'm not a lawmaker. And if President Trump, I would support President Trump. I think he's a visionary. I think he looks way down the future. And if he says we need to amend something, it will be because he sees a path forward for removal later. And maybe that's, if he can take an inch today, he'll take it, knowing that he'll get a foot later or a mile later, or whatever you want the saying to be. So I trust President Trump. He's a visionary. He's a great leader. And if he says amend it, then we amend it. But I would say remove it would be my opinion.
Yeah, because it really did when they put it in. It really did a number on social media, and that's all platforms.
And when you remove Section 230 and independent journalists become independent journalists, then you get freedom of speech. Because now, if I start removing content, just so you understand, or if Elon or Zuckerberg start removing content, they're considered a publisher at that point, and they take that responsibility. So if I remove the responsibility from me, I want you to understand why freedom of speech is so important. If I remove that responsibility, you're responsible for your own words. Sure, I can community note it and show the facts, verified actual facts, saying, hey, we can verify this with reputable sources that this is actual fact, and what this person is saying is not truthful, rather than me going and restricting, taking down, or suppressing their content. And I think this is so important in America, that we have these open dialogues and open discourse. And I think it'll really just allow the idiots to be seen as idiots, and hopefully they learn something and come back around. their channels are going to suck at the end of the day. Let's not forget that. So let them be stupid. We'll continue to make great, amazing content and have open debate. But who am I, one, to take on the liability of being a publisher and saying you can or can't post something, but who am I to be the arbiter of truth saying that is true or false? I think the Constitution is very clear, and I really believe you have a First Amendment right, and it protects five. There are five separate protections in that First Amendment, and your freedom of press and your freedom of speech are one of them. And I truly think you all have that as independent journalists. And let's face it, the fake news media is gone. It's a dying breed. What's happening? And independent journalists, just like yourselves, who report the news, although it might be opinionated right now, I think it'll all come back around and become news again, where it's unbiased reporting and it's just reporting the facts and the weather. That will happen with the removal of Section 230. So I truly believe that. That's my opinion. So, and it's okay to differ too.
Go ahead, Estes.
Just like I wanted to ask, are you open to having discourse like this every few months after you buy TikTok, or just to hear, how is it going? I'm almost certain there are going to be issues that you probably didn't anticipate, or there are going to be kinks to roll out. But are you open to having a dialogue with the big or with creators in general of the app?
We do. Yeah, we're going to be open to creators. So we're going to establish the creators board of directors, and we want it to be like 4 and 6 month terms. So a shorter term where creators of all pages. I want to be very clear. This isn't just about Trump. I love President Trump, but I want to make sure creators across the platform get to come together to build out and enhance the app and make it a space for creators where you're all thriving. Because I have some ideas, but all of you have really great ideas too, and I think they should be heard. And we should really make this a space for all of you, because this is where your businesses are. And I think when you all take ownership, you're going to take pride in it, and you're going to get to see what's going on. So I certainly want to come back, and I want to hear from all of you, and I want to have these conversations with you, and I want to be here and have these panel discussions because it's important. And I want to have a creators board of directors where you get to come out to headquarters. We'll fly you out, and you'll get to hang out and be part of TikTok and do this, and then you get to go home and work from your house for that term. And someone new gets to come in behind you to either finish the work that you started or create their new ideas, and then you'll get another turn later on. But I think this is really important for the development of our digital sovereignty in this country. And it's going to be important that you all understand how it works and why it works this way and the things that are happening along the way, because you're going to be the journalists out there now. You're going to be the people out there talking to your hundreds of thousands and millions of followers. And it's a very, very important aspect to what we're doing here. So, but upholding that First Amendment is crucial to us.
All right, so I have several questions that I'll roll into one. One, when can I get a job? That's a joke, but if you give me a job, I'll come work, and I'm a workaholic. But I digress. One of the questions, and I'll roll it into a ball. That way we can get both answered simultaneously in one fell swoop. How confident are you that you will win the bid with TikTok? And how is it that we can support your endeavor in obtaining TikTok?
So you can, let's start with this. You can support us by using the hashtag #BuyUsTikTok, #BuyUSTikTok, and creating content and talking directly to President Trump and Vice President Vance, telling them to just sell the dang thing, like just get this over with. And really, they just have to sign off on it. We're there. We're ready. We just had a great phone call. I was almost late to this, and I had to step out of that phone call to get to this live. So really great things are happening. The odds of this actually, we're at like 80 to 88% is where we're putting the odds right now. And I think they ByteDance realizes they can have $50 billion plus 20% of a very large company once it's American owned. So they get $50 billion up front plus 20% of whatever we're creating and own for forever because they'll be owners, or they can have 100% of nothing. So in our conversations now with 3 legal groups that represent ByteDance, the conversations have been productive and they've been positive, and I think they want to sell. They have to get permission from their country, and whoever buys this has to get the green light and the thumbs up from President Trump right now, or the executive office if they just extend this out indefinitely. But I hope they don't do that.
So in talking to your team, your sales manager, I like him. He kept saying he wasn't smart by my verbiage, but he's very brilliant. I used to do sales too. I get it. I was really good at sales, but talking to him, he mentioned, because I know it's questions that I've been asked over and over. What other companies are actually interested in purchasing? And your sales manager said Oracle, which would be your next biggest potential contender, but they're not willing to give what Trump is asking. They're looking to make it a sole private company, and in that sovereign fund, which I would like to touch on that before we close out. The sovereign fund. So to give my watchers a little bit more insight on that, more than I would give, because it's better to hear from you. But then there's Amazon, which Amazon, we don't know what they're really doing because they keep one foot in, one foot out. And then I saw on Fox that there are several other companies looking to purchase, but nobody besides you are offering, hey, this is what you want, let's do it, let's get it done kind of thing. And then there's OnlyFans, which I don't think America would look very good with OnlyFans.
I think they're going to try to drive traffic to OnlyFans, if I'm being honest. They're going to destroy TikTok and make it. And yeah, go ahead.
They're not even in the running. So Amazon made a last-ditch effort. It was $20 billion. So really there's Jeff Yaws, there's it's almost my phone starts ringing as soon as everyone knows my schedule starts to clear up for a second. So there's a few offers out there. I can't speak to their offers because but I know our offer. I know that the people who are offering have indicated that they would join our offer if the opportunity presented itself, and I think we'd be open to someone or some of them possibly doing that. Oracle already owns and stores the data for storage facilities. So if you want this app to survive, they're probably going to be part of the picture. Otherwise, there's going to be massive disruptions until we get our own storage facilities built and have our own cloud space. So that's just a fact of the matter. It's a business deal at the end of the day. We're in business. We're leading the charge in this. It's the largest offer out there. It's the largest offer for a reason. And the Sovereign Wealth Fund, we're going to donate 5% of our $50 billion back to the American people to create the Freedom Fund. We're calling it the Freedom Fund. And the United States government will have zero control over the company, but you all, as the taxpayers, will get to participate in the profits of this forever and ever and ever. And we're going to earmark that 5% and those profits that come from that to be used for the American people on American soil. So last night we were talking about how that can be used through infrastructure and creating a new electric grid, roads, sidewalks, bridges, airports. But most importantly, you can end homelessness in America for $30 billion. And I know this from previous research. Health and Human Services came out, and I was looking into how much would it cost to end just veteran homelessness in this country. And I think it was like 8 or 10 billion. But when I saw the number $30 billion, it was very upsetting to me because I thought, how is there still homelessness in this country when for $30 billion we could end it? Yet we're willing to send Ukraine $150 or $200 billion at the snap of a finger. And it really kind of pisses me off, actually, that we do this before we take care of our own. So I say we mow our own yard. We mow our own yard first before we take care of anyone else's. We take care of America and Americans first, and that money will always be earmarked to be used in America on American soil for Americans before anything else, and that's very important to us when we establish that sovereign wealth fund. So love me or hate me, I march forward regardless. We're the biggest bid out there. We're the best bid, and we're the most Trumpian, and President Trump put that out on his Truth Social himself. So he's the one that put it out there. And what we found is 80% of TikTok truly loves me. The other 20% Um, well, we all know what they are. Well, we all know what they are. Politics is a dirty business, and no one will ever stop me. We're going
Mr.
to
Rasner,
continue.
you send me $1 billion, I'll get them on your set.
No, they can stay in the comments for the rest of their life and on the sidelines. Listen, there are people like us four who are doers, and then there are people in the comments, and there are a reason why they're in the comments and in the bleachers, and you see them there, and it's amazing. They'll be in the bleachers for the rest of their life, in their parents' basement, eating their jelly-filled donuts, just expanding beyond belief behind that keyboard. They're just what an amazing country we live in. But we are the doers, we are the movers, we are the shakers. We move forward regardless, and that's why we're where we are. All four of us, we're successful people. And the rest of them are stuck in the comment section. So we love them for that, though, because they get us engagement. So we thank them for that. It's a good thing. So the Sovereign Wealth Fund is very important to me. And we're going to hire veterans and prioritize veterans in our hiring process. That's important. In veteran-owned business for our infrastructure rollout. There's a lot of really great stuff that I didn't get to talk to. But I hope I can come back someday and do this again. And yeah, I want to answer any questions. If you have any more questions, you guys just let me know.
We, excuse me, 2 or 3 questions, because I know you're a busy man, and this gentleman has Trifecta Hour at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight on YouTube. Hopefully, Trifecta Hour, if Mr. Rasner can procure this deal, will be on TikTok, where you guys can view
I hope so.
him, Prince, and Inked giving you the truth, the hard truth, and nothing but the truth. But yeah, Trifecta Hour tonight with AJ's Rant Room on YouTube. Please go watch it. It's a great podcast. He's been doing it for a while, and he puts in great production. If SD or AJ have any questions, I will leave the floor to you. I have no more questions. I wanted just to facilitate this, and if you do come back, I will have more questions personally for myself, but I'm going to leave it to my 2 co-hosts.
AJ, I'm just going to wrap up on my stance. Mr. Rasner, it was a pleasure to meet you, to listen to your stance on things. You obviously are very successful at what you do already, and it does sound like you have the right intentions, for sure, right agenda. I believe that I like that you want everyone to succeed, because at the end of the day, conservative creator or not, I have absolutely no qualms with any of the liberals that I work with, and it's just I don't make it about politics. I try to respect everyone, and I hope that we can come back to that world at some point. And I think on social media that's been very missing. I've had people that have consumed my content for years, and then they found out my religion, for example, or they will find out my political views, or they're like, oh, forget it, like I can't deal with you anymore. And it's just it's not a place that I want my children to grow up in. So I look forward to whether if you do purchase it, I do look forward to that change being first and foremost, beyond anything, beyond the creator fund, beyond the shadow bananaing. I just and I think in the comments section a lot of people can relate to this. We just want it to be like a cool place, and that's what TikTok started out to be, minus the communism aspect of it. But we just want it to be an authentic place, a cool place where creators can have fun and be authentic. And this app has changed lives. It's changed mine personally. And we want to see it in the best hands. So we appreciate your time, of course. If you want to do this, Lumberjack knows where to find me. I'm either kamaling or nursing or momming. But we would love to have this discourse with you again. I'm sure the people will have more questions. They'll DM us, and on their behalf, we can ask them. But I just wanted to personally thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing it with the public, because that's where the transparency is. So I really appreciate that personally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything she said, and yes, we do. It's rare that you get this transparency, and I don't understand why people are mad at transparency all of a sudden. Within our government, and
Shut Doge down. We want to get ripped off.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, it's been a wild time, my friends.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But we do appreciate you. Oh, one question that I've seen a few times that we did not ask. People are bitching about PayPal. Will there be more output in terms of like where people can get their money?
There will be zero PayPal. This will be run through Wyoming stable token on the blockchain. So you'll
Oh, so it's
create a
going to be
TikTok.
it's going to be payment through crypto, and then you can convert the crypto to money. Is that the way it's going to be?
Yep. For listen, and the gas fees are like 2 to 4 cents per transaction. So if you transfer $100 or $500, whatever it is, it's the gas fees are so little to get the money on and off that it's cheaper than a credit card transaction. So,
Yes, because PayPal rips you off. So does TikTok. As soon as they transfer out, they take their bit, and then PayPal takes their bit after that. Yes.
Crazy, yeah, it's insane.
and it'll be the first time that crypto is actually used as a currency rather than a volatile investment.
Good stuff.
It'll be massive. So this will be revolutionary once again. The bankers aren't my friend right now. I can tell you, it's a wild time in my life to find out your friends aren't your friends. it's just nuts. And it's good stuff when you're pissing that many people off. You're over the target. So it's a good place to be. You're doing something good. That's all I can ask. So, I appreciate everything, guys. We don't have to say pew pew anymore. I did see that somewhere. It just keeps going, but no more pew pew. Although we're going to have pew pew talk just for pew pews, and we're going to keep it called that because it's hilarious and just to remind us that of a time that when you had to say pew pew, because how stupid is that?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Let me know when I can come back. Just send us a message, and our social media team will get a hold of you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. I appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good one.
Have a good night.
Be good, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Also, shameless plug for my own podcast, Timber Talk, Navigating the Political Force. It premieres every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I give you the truth, nothing but the truth and whole truth in a different light than AJ does, but it's still truth regardless of the matter. If you guys can go over and give me a follow, go follow Esty on Instagram and on X. That's where she kills it on X. And she ignores me over there.